In 2012, Jude Shamantha was sentenced to death by the High Court of Colombo over the murder of Yvonne Johnson at the Royal Park condominium complex in Rajagiriya in 2005. 7 years later, in November 2019, he was granted the presidential pardon of Maithripala during his last week in office as president. However, in 2022, the Women and Media Collective Organization filed a fundamental rights petition before the Supreme Court challenging the legality of former President Sirisena's decision to grant presidential pardon to the Royal Park murder convict. Their FAR petition was filed naming the Attorney General, Jude Shamantha, Commissioner General of Prisons, Controller General of Immigration and Immigration, Inspector General of Police, Minister of Justice and President of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka as respondents. On the 24th of July last year, the Supreme Court concluded its hearing on the fundamental rights petition and directed written submissions to be filed before the 25th of August. The country's apex court stated that the verdict would be delivered in due course. After over 3 months, the verdict of the case was delivered today by a 3-member Supreme Court bench comprising Justices S. Tureraja, Yasantha Kodagoda and Janak De Silva. While highlighting that there is due process to be followed prior to the grant of presidential pardon to a convict, which includes calling for a report from the justices who named the suspect a convict, calling for a report from the Attorney General and obtaining recommendations from the Minister of Justice, Justice S. Tureraja is of the view that former President Maithripala Sirisena has failed to follow due procedure. Justice Yasantha Kodagoda, meanwhile, is of the view that the presidential pardon was granted by former President Sirisena based on personal requests made by parliamentarian Venerable Athureliya Ratanathera, respondent to the petition Jude Shamantha and his parents, and added that he has misused his power and acted in negligence without adhering to the constitutional provisions. In his decision, Justice Janak De Silva said the former president has failed to explain the circumstances under which the presidential pardon was granted, adding that it amounts to the misuse of his power. While highlighting that the former president's action have led to violations of Article 12(1) and 34(1) of the Constitution, the 3-member judge bench quashed the order to grant a presidential pardon by former President Maithripala Sirisena to Royal Park murder convict Jude Shamantha. The Supreme Court also ordered that former President Maithripala Sirisena should pay a compensation of 1 million rupees to the petitioner and 1 million rupees each to the mother and father of the victim of the Royal Park murder. Further, the country's apex court ordered the Attorney General to take necessary legal measures for the extradition of the defendant, who is currently overseas.